Peace. What's up, y'all? It's Ra. Welcome back to Trill Alchemy. Welcome back. It's good to see y'all. So, for those who are new to Trill Alchemy, this space is all about helping you with your individual, my individual, our individual, and our collective ascension journeys. And the way that we do that here is through light language, channelings, transmissions, healings, readings, whatever comes through. Okay, I'm just the vessel. So if you haven't already, I do want to encourage you to like, share, subscribe, comment on my page. It is a free way to help grow my channel. Show me back some love. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all for being here. And let's get into it for the day. So let me open with prayer first, because this energy has been a little bit kind of out there for me to channel. I can feel it, but to put it into words, so I'm going to just open with some prayer. So just giving all thanks to the Creator, our all, our only. 0 point. We ask that we know you more and more in each and every moment, that we know your power, your grace, that we understand what humility really is, okay, in its purest and most divine sense, that we understand your power in us, and that we no longer run from it, okay? So today I ask that you open up this space and allow these messages that you have put on my heart today to flow through easily, clearly, concisely. Use me as your vessel. Make your messages plain and clear. Amen. Okay, so it is about your spiritual authority, owning your spiritual authority, okay? I've talked a lot about what humility really means, and how we have been taught this so just out of pocket, degrading definition of humility. We are taught that to be humble is to be groveling in a lowered position, subservient even to whatever it is, an authority greater than you. And we've been taught that the only way you can approach God is through humility of spirit. And while this is true, we have to understand that the definition of humility, the true definition of humility, okay, when you look up the etymology of the word, it means to be at a place where you know your position, you know what you are, you know what God is in you, you understand that, but you are also open to God working through you in its own mysterious way. That is what true humility is. It is not a giving up of your power, okay? And so I feel that a lot of us, when we get on the spiritual journey, we get tricked out of our own adventure, okay? We get tricked out of participation. We get tricked out of ownership. We get tricked out of our own authority. Because if you think about it, we start off in the church where we have no right to claim any kind of authority. You can't even talk to God on your own. You need to call up Jesus on the main line, okay? Got to get through to the operator to even talk to your Creator. The nerve of you, okay? Born into sin, heathen, wretched. Okay, so we accept that. Then we figure out that that's a lie. Y'all ran it on me my whole life and had me feeling this big. And so we get angry, okay? Because how dare you trick me out of a relationship with my Creator, okay? Rightfully so. So then we kind of get lost on this journey of our connection with God. You know, that's when a lot of people come to me, they be like, I don't even know who to pray to now. I know who I've been praying to. That's not resonating. And so the journey is about rediscovering, actually discovering and remembering where you stand one-on-one with God. Now, when we get on this part of the path, this is where we want to fall out of action mode. We want to put the controller up. You know what? I'm pulling back. And we have to understand that we are never out of the adventure. Our job here is to continue to recreate as gods. That's what we are here to do. But when we have been conditioned to this version of God that is an external authority, that is in control, regardless of what happens, is on God anyway, then we take ourselves out of player one mode. Okay? But that's not cool. Because what I have been shown about God, okay, now I've had some profound experiences. Hold on, y'all, let me get my elixir. Y'all know this, I got my trilly. Let's see what the energy is on this lemonade. I got 2 or 3 drops of elixir in here. Let's see. I ain't even praying it. I know somebody like, man, she faking. Anything is gonna swing like that. Look, let's do this mouse. Now let's do this bottle of elixir. Y'all see what it do? Anyway, lest I digress. Okay, y'all, you know, I'm a nerd. Okay. So, I've had some pretty profound experiences where I have come to know and experience the nature of God in a very pure, profound way. These have all occurred on plant medicine. I think the most profound has been on the Bufo alvarius toad, okay? And I always say that it's like being thrust into the heart of God. And everything that I ever heard anybody ever try to describe God as, I came to understand what they were attempting, what they were reaching for, but could not capture. God was all of those things, but so much more, so much grander than anything we've ever tried to encapsulate God into. But one thing God never appeared to me as, and I've had multiple experiences, God never appeared to me as an authority. Anytime I had these experiences where I could express with God, hear from God, be heard by God, be held by God, be comforted by God, be educated by God, God was never an authoritative figure. I always was being empowered, okay? And this is speaking through energy, not necessarily, sometimes through words you would hear, but through energy. It's like packets of energy that you just interpret. It was always a matter of choice. It was always, let me empower you to make the best choices for your adventure. Because you are here to create as me. I don't look to no outside figure to put a stamp and guidelines on what I do. So if you're here to create as me, why are you looking to me? You're here to learn how to channel all of the divine intelligence of me through you so that you can make the best decisions for you. This is why I give you free will. But we get conditioned into checking out of ownership. We want to give it all over to the authority, but you are here to create. So listen to this. And your creation, your adventure never ends. No matter how far you get on this journey. So let's read from the Keys of Enoch again. The key then tells us that God's plan has no end. It is the life of light in the house of many mansions and paradise sun universes, and ultimately the life of light in the many father universes. To the master, that's us, to the master who faithfully serves the Father in the lower dust world creations, is given the opportunity to acquire the nature of being self-begotten, self-sustaining, and self-creating in the name of Yahweh, the Creator. And as the master progresses in the worlds of light, you are the master, okay, in this book, progresses in the worlds of light. He moves from the ability of having only one embodiment of light on the edge of his local universe to the ability to indwell in 9 bodies. by being created within the center of his universe. He's no longer on the periphery of his universe watching shit happen because he's only got this one embodiment, okay? Then he moves to being the center of the universe, the center point. Pi is originated from this point of reality. He's the center of the circle, okay? All right? Center of his universe. Thus, the master becomes a lord of light and serves equally all 9 time cells of consciousness, okay? The key which Master Enoch gave to me speaks of universes within universes which have no end, universes which are part of many different mansion worlds of light, each with their unique electromagnetic spectrum. In the overall creation, soul advancement can proceed to these new universes, new star universes, blossoming anew only if the soul has cultivated the energy to go on. So you are always in a cycle of creation and cultivation and regeneration, okay? And it's a back and forth between a creation, and you create it, then you nurture it, and then you create something new, and then you nurture it, and then you always back and forth between these energies, but you're never still. You're never letting this be created just for you. It's never out of your hands, okay? It says, the insufficient psyche without soul development, however, is not destroyed, but as a drop fallen into a vast ocean of light is returned to the new primeval eons where the more painful task of metamaterial creation must begin anew in its own way. So it talks about if your soul is not cultivated with the energy to move on to the next universe. And how do we cultivate? Through creation. How do we create? On this journey, okay? And in this Super Mario Brothers thing, is coming in. So we're gonna use Mario as an analogy. It says, if you don't though, you will take on the pain. You will return to more primeval energy and take on the task of more metamaterial, okay? So you're gonna have to create at a denser realm before you can move up. Enoch explained that God's plan has no end. Even throughout our local universe, life continues to recreate itself. Man is doomed to perfection. And when you realize this, you will understand why the Father's house has many mansions. Amen. The Father's house has many mansions, but who do you think is building them? See, Jesus was represented as a carpenter for a reason, because Jesus was not one who sat up in a mountain with his legs crossed, waiting for the embodiment of God to take him over. Jesus was out in the streets doing work. So they represented Jesus as a carpenter because he was a builder of houses and mansions. You are here to build the kingdom, not inherit. You will inherit the land, but you gotta build the actual kingdom. So they gave me this Mario Brothers analogy. I'm dressed like them niggas with the hat on and shit today. This was not planned. So Mario and Luigi, they just some regular, pizza eating brothers, sit on the couch, eat pizza at night every day, plumbers, regular life, and then they get cast into this adventure. And if you think about the adventure, when you start off on Super Mario Brothers, okay, original. When you start off, you like little, right? You kind of vulnerable, you out in this world, and you are on a journey where you are dodging you got to dodge haters. You got to stack your coins. You got to stack your coins. You can power up. When he had mushrooms to power up, when he ate the mushroom, he got big, got power, right? Okay. You got to capture the flag at the end. When you capture enough flags, you get the princess, you get the chick. But then what? Is it over? No. You go on to the next world. And in the next world, you got to use a totally different skill set. You have to develop the skill set. You don't go into a world automatically knowing how to beat it, because in the next world, you got to know how to jump on treetops and shit, okay? And jump off of little dudes and stay above the trees. And in the next world, you got to swim. And in the next world, you got to dodge fireballs. And in the next world, you got to know how to skate on ice. And in the next world, you got to know how to float on clouds. It's always something, a skill set that you have to master. And it takes time, it takes trial and error, but you don't ever give up on the journey. And in the end, he has to beat the boss so that he can win the kingdom, right? You beat the big boss and you win the kingdom. So this is what this is like for us. We all of these little Marios, and you know, we got the same thing, but the goal of it all is to become, what does it say? Self-sustaining. Self-sustaining in the name of the Creator, through the Creator. Okay? We are one. So this is about us being spiritually accountable, taking ownership of the adventure, no longer sitting on the sidelines and no longer giving away the authority, understanding what humility really, really means, okay? This is knowing that you are God and leaving room for God to work in you. So what I wanted to do, I pulled a card when I first started, and it was the Two of Wands in reverse, okay? And so let's look at this card for a second. You got this guy here. He's an adventurer. He's standing on the top of this peak where he has perspective. He can see everything below him. Now, he's facing what is considered a crossroads here. And at this crossroads, he's faced with the decision. Do I move with what is flowing through me, where I am being guided, or do I stop and try to make a plan, put my own mind to it, and that's where he gets stuck. But we have this in reverse, okay? So let's see what this means in reverse. Unwilling to gain perspective, unwilling to join the adventure, unwilling to move out of your comfort zone, unable to see where you are going, missing opportunities, being distracted, missing crucial information. But it says the moment of decision, two pathways: to direct with one's own will, or to be directed by the will of something else. So who are you giving and what are you giving your authority to? Sorry, y'all. Phone just tried to go dead. Where are you allowing your authority to live? If you are here as a self-established and to prove yourself at the end of the adventure, before you move on to the next one, that through mastery of these skill sets and dodging these certain obstacles, okay, and stacking my coin and becoming self-sufficient, I am proving myself worthy of the kingdom. I can capture the flag and get the girl at the end. If you're not here to do that, then what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you wasting space, energy, time, and opportunity? Okay, so let's get into it, because I feel like there's an energy of of a paralysis for somebody. And so I want to just do some cards. We're going to do two different spreads here. The first is going to be, what do we need to put down? Okay, what do we need to put down? And the second one is going to be, what do we need to pick up in its stead? Okay, so let me just make sure. Okay, yeah. So part of what I'm hearing when I say this, put down, pick up energy, it is about making yourself as agile as possible on this journey as the adventurer. So what is your spiritual defense plan? And when I talk about spiritual defense, Okay, so Mario, he had to play defense. He had to know when to duck. He had to know when to jump. He had to know when to jump on top of a nigga head. He had to know when to, he had a defensive strategy. But all of that was to keep him whole. Okay, so what is your strategy of remaining whole no matter what comes at me? Knowing what to duck, knowing what not to engage in, knowing what to dismiss, knowing what to just accept as a lesson, okay? Knowing what is safe to receive. And then you also have to have an offense, okay? So he had to gather the coin. He had to capture the flag. He had to sometimes jump on one person's head, jump on the turtle's back, knock the turtle shell to knock the other turtles off of the path, okay? You have to have some offense. You got to know what steps do I need to take. So this is the pickup energy. What steps do I need to take in order to be a more effective creator, to stay in Big Mario status, to get the green extra life mushrooms, okay? So let's look. What's the defense? Let's get into it. Let's see, what is the defense energy? What's going to keep us agile on this journey? What is the energy, the put down energy? So we got the Judgment card. We got the Ten of Cups. What else? And the Five of Swords. Okay, so this is something, somebody has been made to believe that their happiness doesn't matter. Okay, that is frivolous, that is like not even something that you should expect along the journey. And so happiness comes with, you know how you want to be in the pursuit of happiness, and for a lot of us that's what keeps us on the journey. The journey is driven by what you desire. Like, you deserve to be happy. What do you know? Okay, so the reason why it's a problem for you is because you have been taught that your God is an angry God. You haven't experienced God in a joyful presence, the joyful presence of the Creator. Once you get to know God on those terms, then you'll understand how it is your duty to propagate more joy in your life. And you do that along this adventure by learning new skills, conquering new kingdoms, stacking new coin, powering up on mushrooms, and getting the redhead baddie at the end of you know what I'm saying? All right. Redhead. She was redheaded. All right. So, what are you going to put down? Any judgments that you have around your deservedness of happiness, of joy, of fulfillment, of pleasure on all levels. It is a point of contention with this Five of Swords. So you have the Judgment, the Ten of Cups, and the Five of Swords. This has been a point of contention. It is what keeps you out of claiming authority over your journey. Oh, God is just I'm waiting on God to bless me. No, you create your blessings. That's what you're here to do, to learn how to create blessings out of thin air. What are you talking about? What are you waiting on? What do you need to pick up? Okay. Y'all, it's a lot of swords energy. All swords. This is all mental. This is a mental battle. King of Swords in reverse with the Queen of Swords. With the Six of Swords. Look at him, the adventurer. That's what he is. He down here. You know, I'm going to read the Six of Swords out of this book because he down here on the quest. I remember this. This is out of the David Bowie tarot. Check this out. Six of Swords. I adventure into the great unknown. So much of our lives are spent trying to avoid change because to move away from what is familiar involves risk, even danger, and yet remaining where we are is not easy either. This card indicates that it's time to venture across the unknown sea. Something is awaiting your arrival. The card depicts An Indian brave sailing his kayak on the great river of life, golden with possibility. He has left his home. A journey has called him, and he is willing to face potential dangers in the search for meaning and answers. And so what I'm hearing is also that we get tricked out of the claiming authority over our journey because we are afraid of the dangers. We're afraid of the darkness. We think that somehow if we have to encounter those things, that is not somehow part of our purpose. Oh, if I have to fall back a step, then that's really indicating that I'm not on my purpose. But God said, I created all things. Okay? It's all me. It's just within a spectrum. It's within a spectrum. And so, yeah, the goal is to experience me on more end of the spectrum. But if you experience me on this end of the spectrum, you have to accept that pain, that darkness, whatever it is sent to you to bring you to this end. So you can either accept it as a lesson and learn from it, okay? But you cannot shrink away from the adventure. Okay. This card communicates the energy of transition. You're being asked to leave behind what is familiar. Again, it talks about moving out of your comfort zone. Okay, we used to pray this prayer in church during, I don't know when we did it, but God increase my territory. Isaac or something like that. Increase my territory, right? That's something real. Okay, you are here to establish and build more kingdoms, enlarge my territory. But you don't just get territory handed to you. Okay, you have to leave behind what's familiar so that you can accept more territory. You got to put down the familiar. And so the familiar has been, and this is how you identify the familiar, because it has been speaking to that part of you that told you don't deserve utter and complete fulfillment. That is the familiar. And anything that resonates with that, you are to move far away from, far away from. Okay? It says, letting go of what is safe is predictable. Suddenly, we are flung into a period of chaos where our old knowledge is useless. And so this is the old knowledge with the King of Swords in reverse. This is the old knowledge is useless, but the Queen of Swords is here with a new perspective. And the Queen of Swords perspective comes through her experiences that could have hardened her, but that she did not allow that hardening to happen. She took them as lessons, and she remained open for more of the unfolding and remained supple and soft. Okay. Let's see. The thought of having to start again is scary, terrifying even. However, negotiating the rapids, aware, this is implicit to the journey. Okay. All right. So I'm just saying, you're not going to be able to shrink away. And with this Two of Swords here, this is all about energy that you have been shutting out. So you got two cards here making a decision. Two cards here of, this one's the card of being split in half mentally, okay? This is the card of being at the crossroad. But this one is like you're not even going on the adventure. You're not even seeking to gain the perspective because you're scared to leave your comfort zone. Why? Because you're not claiming your spiritual authority, okay? So let's see what light language comes through, if anything. I feel like I've been rambling for a minute, y'all, but then I feel like I've been talking loud, so I apologize if it gets loud, but give thanks. Kia aino sunalayo komia tia katananaya o tayasi. Ya kosinalayo kotin ya lao kotin alayo komia kia tasanalaya kia tanalaya ko. I hear there are so many levels and so many options for you on this journey. So many options, okay? But you only see the couple or two that have been a part of this old paradigm. And so you are not this Two of Swords energy is the blockage that's over your mind, the blindfolders that you've had on, the dual nature of your being, okay, in not wanting to accept the challenge, not just accepting the glory of the challenge, but also what comes along the path of your mastery. Yakioto na laya kumi yakioto sana laya katana laya ya toneria ko atia sana laya kioto na mia kiata na laya kuna laya kayasi. But one of the reasons that we ask you to search your heart because this is where we can remind you most easily. Because when you have the blinders of the mind on, no matter what we say to you, to your mental faculties, it will keep you out of the game. But when we put that spark of desire in your heart and you feel it in a way that is so undeniable, okay, then it begins to ripple out as a new truth. And this is how we penetrate you. And so if anything, this is why it is important to seek that and to understand that which brings you joy. I am a God of joy and wonder and love and grace and mercy and compassion and tenderness and understanding and complete understanding and complete support. You can never do anything to make this God wrong, mad. This is what the Creator wants us to know. Don't believe the hype. Come to know me for yourself. Yes.